Altars increase prayer experience by a tremendous amount, but why do they not work during double XP events? Would the experience simply be too good? Well, let's discuss. Whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Over 60% of my viewers aren't subscribed, and as I'm closing in on that big 100,000 subscriber milestone, I'd like to remind you to subscribe. Let's move on. Prayer is a skill part of the combat skills category that is usually not trained during double XP events. Why? Well, because you might as well be training it off double XP, as the best prayer training methods have never worked during double XP events. Examples of training methods that do work during double XP are burying regular bones or using a bone crusher, cleansing crystals, adding ashes to incense sticks, and of course, fire watches. One thing all of these methods have in common is that in the grand scheme of RuneScape training methods, they're all quite slow. Now, this doesn't mean that the methods just mentioned are irrelevant. In fact, fire watches are a very solid training choice because you can gain combat, farming, fire making, and slayer experience. But something like Infernal Ashes will be more experience per hour when offered to the Chaos or Chapel altar than fire watches would be on double XP, despite the experience on the altar not being boosted. Altars have quite literally been excluded since the very first double XP event back in March 2010. Now, I shouldn't really be calling it a double XP event, as the first few double XP events, I just did it again, actually gave you 2.7 times experience that would slowly decrease over time. Looking back at these multipliers, we have a much better double XP system now, because just imagine logging in and having to make the most out of like 30 or 60 minutes of your time because that 2.7 times experience is going to slowly decrease. That's some awful, stressful FOMO stuff. Like, imagine having to walk to the bank to grab something for your training while your double XP timer is decreasing. At least we can pause it now, but I digress. Why doesn't prayer work during double XP? Well, apparently because the altar gave or gives bonus experience, it wasn't multiplied, similarly to how brawling gloves do not work during double XP events. They might have decided it was too tricky to make an exception in the code, or considered altar experience or prayer training on the altar too fast at that time. I do not know. What I do know is that the summoning skill was also limited during the first couple of double XP events, and unlike other skills which would gain 2.7 times experience at the start and slowly decrease, summoning would only gain 1.1 times experience, or 10% experience, for the entire duration of the event. The reasoning behind this is that they didn't want to disrupt the charm gathering aspect, as if you were to gain double XP, you would need half the charms and therefore the skill would be faster. It's a bit of a weird reason if I'm being entirely honest, but I think it would be comparable to how Ironman accounts nowadays do not benefit from double XP events. It will take another 2 years for them to change this decision, as during the double XP event in October 2012, summoning will now also gain double experience when creating pouches and scrolls.
This time we've tried to include as many things as we possibly can. We've managed to include things like summoning. So all of the pouch creation that you do, training your summoning skill, all their XP will get doubled.
So they came back on summoning, but why not prayer? I mean, how different is prayer really when compared to other skills? All Bible skills, so to speak, benefit from double XP. Most Bible skills are artisan skills, and those all work on double XP, so why not prayer? What is it about training prayer on altars that makes it so special to the point where it cannot work on double XP? One of the arguments I would expect against this change would be supply and demand and economy changes. Players using less ashes and bones would probably affect the price of the ashes and bones a little bit. Would players train prey exclusively on double XP? No, I don't think so, but a large majority of players will be saving up their bones and ashes for double XP. That's just going to happen no matter what. The other argument I would expect is players saying prayer is so fast already. Oh really? Then why did summoning get changed? It's quite literally the fastest skill in the game. Smithing, herblore, and fletching are also incredibly fast skills, and yet they still work on double XP. Treasure hunter keys exist and can make any skill fast. Actually, ignore that and all the other skills. Let's just take a look at prayer XP rates in general. How OP would it be to have altar experience doubled on double XP? On the best altar in the game, the best item in the game, Searing Ashes, would be around 2.6 million base prayer experience per hour. Now you might be like, that's a wee bit too fast, but this is about as fast as you can gain right now using a Powder of Burial's Burying Area Bones. The fast experience argument simply does not make sense because the experience rates are already in the live game. For those not sure what the Powder of Burials does, is it gives you the same experience when burying bones as you would get using a gilded altar with all burners lit, and you can bury bones at a rate of 3 to 4 times as fast as you would be able to offer bones on an altar. Now, doubling the XP per hour of the Powder Burials might be a little bit too nutty for prayer, but at the same time, you can gain like 25 million experience per hour when doing summoning on double XP. So there's that. To end off the video, I think altars should work on double XP. It's an exception that confuses new players, and it's not like it would hurt the game in any meaningful way. But what do you think? And did this video change your mind? Because around 1/4 of you voting on my poll that I launched yesterday said no. And if this video still didn't change your mind, be sure to let me know why down in the comments below. Also, it's only a matter of time before Jagex will add protein bones to the game, which will 100% work during double XP. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.